All right, today I'm going to show you how to set up a Wix website and get started building on it. We're going to talk about how you can get your brand installed, so your colors, your fonts, your imagery, get all that set up, picking a theme that you're going to stick with, and also some basic ways to build things and just use the platform. All right, so first thing you're going to do is go to Wix and sign up for an account if you haven't yet. You can purchase your domain through Wix, or if you already have one from somewhere else, you can use that domain on Wix. So what I'm going to do since I am signed in is I'm going to press create new site, and it's going to give you some questionnaires. We can start from a blank canvas, start from a template, or generate a site structure with AI. I'm going to say start with a template. That's probably the best bet. So let's click that. And then from here, you can pick a template. Now, as of this recording, March 2025, when you pick a template in Wix, you stick with that template for as long as you have this website. There's no going and changing your template later on. So pick the one that you think is going to last you the longest. So let's go through and pick one. Let's just decide to go with this one. So if you want, you can view them first to see what they look like, to see if that's the one you want. And you can use these buttons here to see what it might look like on desktop, tablet, or mobile. All right, so this is what this website would look like if we used it. We can use other sections to build out this website, and we can also use the ones they give us, but you probably want to rearrange them depending on your business goals and your goals for your website. But let's just say that this one looks like what I want for my business or for my client's business or whoever I'm working with. I can just press edit template. It might take a while to load, but once you get it loaded, then it's going to look like this, something like this. As you can see up here, it has like a dummy URL. When you're ready, you can press connect domain, and that'll walk you through how to connect your URL to this website that you have built. I suggest building it first with this dummy domain and then connecting it. All right, so this is what your editor is going to look like. At the top, you can see that there is options for desktop, tablet, and mobile. And then on the left-hand side, we have our toolbar here. So the plus just allows you to add elements, like it says. This guy here shows you the different layers on your website. So for example, here, I'll show you an example. So we have our header, then we have our welcome section, which is right here. And if we scroll down, we have our about section, which is this one here. If you click on any of them, it'll give you some options to edit things. We can also click the little caret there to see, oh, there's two cells. There's the ones, as you can see, highlighted. And then within those cells, there's one of them has an image and the other's going to have text and a button, right? Awesome. So that is a way that you can see everything if that is a way that you work. Pages is going to show you all of your pages. This comes pre-built with some, but you might want to change some of them. Maybe you want to add your own pages. Yeah, so change these up as needed. Then the next one is going to show you your sitemap, and it's just a visual of it, which is really nice. So we can kind of see how things are laid out on each page, and you can click here to kind of move them around if this is how you see better. You can also duplicate them if you want to copy a section and use a similar looking section somewhere else on the same page. And if we want to leave this, we can just press the X and we'll go back to where we were. All right, here we have our site styles. So here's where all your colors are going to be and all of your different fonts and typography is going to be. You also want to look at max width. So this is going to show you how wide is your content going to be on the widest screen. So most websites I work on are about 1220 pixels wide. That's the maximum width they will be. If there's a screen that is wider than that, it'll just have a lot of padding on the side. So you can edit that here. This one is set up to 1600 pixels. And then page transitions. So if you want to set up animations for like clicking on a new page and going to a new page, navigating to a new page, you can do that here. It looks like they only give us one option. I would say use none unless you are a very creative person, like an artist or a designer or something. It gets a little overwhelming if you have a lot of animations, and it can make your website look less professional if you're a business person. All right, so, oh, and you can also use these buttons here to navigate what we were just looking at. All right, so let's say we want to edit our colors. I'm gonna actually, yeah, you can either get the hex codes, the RGB codes, or the HSB codes, whichever you have, that is what you can use to put it on your website. You probably have it in your branding kit if you have a branding kit, and this will just ensure that you are using the same exact instance of each color that you use. So let's pretend that is the white we use. I can apply that. It's going to apply to the whole site, and it's going to be available for me to use on different sections. So I don't have to type in that code over and over or memorize it or anything like that. So you can do that for the other colors, and if you are picking your colors now and you don't have a brand kit, you can always use the color picker. I don't really suggest this. I do suggest using a brand kit or like having something that has your colors that you use everywhere, use in your marketing, your emails, etc. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to change some of these colors just to show you how it looks. Apply. Let's change this guy here. And we can see that this color that I'm editing right now is the color for this background of this section. So you can see it changing. Cool. All right, and you can, change the rest how you see fit. All right, next is going to be typography. So we can edit that here. If you need to, you can upload fonts here, but otherwise it comes with a ton of fonts built in, and I would just choose from those. But of course, reference your brand, the fonts and colors that you use throughout your marketing and everything like that. All right, so let's pick some others. Let's do this one. Cool. And it's just going to update your fonts right there. The reason that we are setting all this up now is because when you set it up here, it's going to be really easy to use that stuff throughout your website, and it's going to help you keep everything uniform. A big part of design is consistency. And if your title tags look different on every page, it gets a little jarring and confusing, and it just doesn't really look great. It's kind of one of those subconscious things where people don't really think about it, but it would look better if everything was uniform and all the titles of all the pages looked similar and all the subheadings looked similar and all the body text looked the same, etc., etc. So once you've set up your fonts here, it'll be easier to go in and set up your headings. Heading 1 is going to be your title tag, so the top of the pages. You should only use an H1, a heading 1 once on each page. Heading 2 would be kind of like your section headings for each big section of your page. And then heading 3 is kind of like your subheadings. And then headings 4, 5, and 6 are used as like accents and things like that. Your paragraph tags are your body text. So anything right here is going to be your paragraph tags. So just click on the edit there and you can edit things here. And then when you're done, you can just back out and it should reflect the changes that you just made. Another thing you can do is scale your text, which means that it will change size based on the size of the device, right? Like if your heading is really, really big on desktop because you want it to be that big for design purposes, but you don't want it to be that big on a phone because it would just be one letter, one letter, one letter. That's something that you can use scale text for. So here I said the maximum was going to be 66 pixels in size and the minimum would be 50 pixels in size. All right, and we can go back. All right, so you're going to do that and update all the fonts on here. If you want to change this max width, you can do that here. And then if you want to do your page transitions, you can do that here. And then when you are done, we can move on. So the next thing is media. So this is all of your uploaded files, um, mostly videos and images. So you can upload that here. Just press upload and you can either drag and drop or you can upload them from your computer. You can upload them from Google Drive, Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, etc. Plenty of options. Awesome. Okay, global sections. So here's where you're going to edit your header, which we can't see because I changed the colors. But this, you would obviously have that as a different color. This is your header, which is right here. And then your footer is going to be at the bottom of the page. So if I click this here, it opens up on the side. We can adjust, you know, how do you want it to behave responsively, which means on different device sizes. So desktop, tablet, mobile. There's a lot of options you can do here. I would just mess with it until you find what works best for you, what you really like. Because some of you might be watching this and things might look a little different, and it's either because this is the past version or it's because the theme that you picked has different options. So mess with it how you want, and when you like it, save it, you're good to go. All right, and then footer, you can click here and edit your footer how you want. So we can see here that it's set as a collage. Um, you could do columns or rows instead. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. All right, cool. If you want to add apps to your website, depending on what you do, what your business is, or, if this is a portfolio site, what you might need, whatever your website is, whatever your goal is, there's apps you can choose from that might help you. All right, and then lastly, you have My Business, CMS, so it's content management system, which you probably won't be using, and coding. So these ones you might use less than everything up here. And I'll show you this add elements because I didn't show you that yet. Okay, so if you want to add stuff, there's quick add. This is all the like major sections that you can add, or like snippets that you can add to your website, to each section. And a section is, what you see here. So this is a section, this is a section, this is a section. If I want, I can add another button to this section. I can add a shape and maybe put a picture in that shape. I can add a gallery. I can add a menu if I want. But then they also have kind of pre-built stuff here. So go through those and mess with them, play with them, see what they have. You can just click one and drag it onto your website and voila, it's there. You can edit it as you see fit. Cool. So here it is. It threw it at the top, but um, you might want to change like the background of this. Maybe you want to change the colors and things like that. It's nice to know that these pre-built sections are here and then you can just edit them to be the way that you want them to be. Okay, cool. So let's look at another one. Let's say, okay, we have about, we have services. If you add products to Wix and you're selling products, that you can use these here. Let's say I want to add a testimonial section on my website. I want to add this one. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay, great. Awesome. If I want to edit this, well, first I'll click here. Sometimes it's hard to get to the section you want. And if it is hard to get to the section you want, you can just click layers and make sure that you're in the right section. Okay, cool. I've selected the correct section. Okay. If I decided I wanted to be rows instead, I could just do that, which I'm not going to do because that doesn't make sense for this section. Okay, I don't like this. I messed something up, so I'm just going to do Control Z twice. Cool, back to the way it was. You can use your keyboard shortcuts for website builders, Control Y, Control Z, which is undo and redo, and then Control C and Control V you can often do as well. So try those as you see fit. Okay, let's change this text because I don't think this is the font we chose. Yeah, I don't think it is. Um, so I want to edit the text and make sure it is my font. Okay, the only one I really edited was the H1, so that's the only one you can really see. But I changed this to H1 and now it is my font and the font size that I chose. So we're good. And it even shows the max and min that I chose, so it will scale. Cool. Okay. And then if you want to change the color, if you click here, it's going to give you all the colors that you put in, all of your themed colors. So you don't have to, go back and pick and choose or figure out what the hex code was or the RGB code or whatever. It's already here, already set up for you. And we can do the same with the background of this section. So click that. And then our color, I'm going to say, let's do this one. Cool. That is one of the brand colors that I input. We're good to go. It's all set up. All right, cool. Now this looks awesome on desktop, right? But the reality is the majority of people going to your website are probably on their phones. So it's super duper important to make sure you check everything on tablet and mobile as well. Don't just build your site on desktop and then be done. So remember, we can use these here to change. And I just want to point out that autosave is on. I was just about to save this, but I don't need to because autosave is on. We're good to go. This is all being saved. I could leave now and come back and it'll be here. All right, so let's take a peek at tablet and see what this looks like. All right, I don't love how this looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and drag it. Cool. Now my picture is a little bigger and I think it looks better. And this is only going to update for tablet. All right, let's also say you want to, make this shorter, right? Make sure you click on the section you want to edit and then you can adjust things. This is your margin too, so if the margin is too big, you can just click and drag. If I drag down, it's going to get bigger. If I drag up, it'll get smaller. All right. And then as you can see, this is a section, this is a section. So I want to actually drag this too. It's a lot of messing with things, to try to get it exactly the way you want it. And if you ever want to preview it, you can click here and it will show you what your website looks like. Now, I think it's going to show me how it looks in, oh no, it's going to show me in tablet. Okay. So if you're happy with that, you can leave that. And we can also go here and change how it looks. This is what it's going to look like on mobile. And this is what it's going to look like on desktop. Cool. And then as you saw, there are common devices. So if you want to see what it looks like on iPad, this is going to be like a rough idea of what it's going to look like. Again, it's really important to view these things because most people aren't going to be viewing your website on desktop. They're going to be looking on their phones. So I always try to go through with different device sizes and just look through, make sure everything kind of looks good. If I go back to edit site, then I can keep editing. Okay, and now I'm in mobile. So I'm gonna say I'm happy with this section. Let's say I wanted to make this smaller. I could do that. Now this is only gonna show up on mobile. Okay, another good thing to know is if you are in your layers section, you can find the section you want and then click the three dots here. And there's a whole bunch of things you can do. So I can move this up, move it down on the page. I can copy it and paste it. I can duplicate it. There's so much you can do here. So I would just go through these. And if there's anything you want to edit here, that's where you do it. Okay, let's say we're happy with this page and we want to edit a different page. You can just click here and then click on any of your pages here. If you click on manage pages, it's going to take you here so you can kind of manage things about them, right? We can set up the settings for it, the SEO, social share, what it's going to look like when you share it on social. You can rename it, duplicate it, all that stuff. If I want to edit, say, the project pages, I can just click that and it will load the projects page. And if you had just copied a section and you want to paste it into here, you can do that. And when you are ready and you love your website and you want to go live, publish. That's where you're going to go to make it live on the internet. All right, cool. So that should get you started with Wix. The biggest thing is to pick a theme that is going to last you as long as this Wix site is going to last you. Like I said, as of this recording, March 2025, once you pick your theme, that's your theme. There's no going back. So pick one that's going to last you. Then go on in here and get all the things set up first, your fonts, your colors, all that kind of stuff that is going to be on every page of your website. The header, the footer, I would get all that stuff set up. And then you can go in and start messing with sections, adding sections, deleting sections, etc. And if you need any help, you can always go down here. There's some more tutorials that will help you out and help you get started. If you ever have questions, I am always available. I will leave my contact info in the description below and maybe somewhere floating around here. Or I might send you to another video that might be helpful. Who knows? All right, follow along for more tutorials, tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you next time.